NFL March Madness time. Bengal and I, we're going to try to go undefeated with our NFL playoffs bracket. And if we can't agree on who's going to win each round, we're going to get producer Weaves to come down from the studio heavens, and he's going to break the tie. So we need to practice this because we've never had Weaves, our producer, on the show. So I want him to drop in right now. And can you give me a little oil up? Oil up.
Let's oil up, Chad.
There we go. Weaves. Welcome to the show, Weaves. Welcome to Bengal. Let's start here. Let's go with the NFC wildcard round because that's the first game on the docket here. Rams, they're 10.5-point favorites against the Carolina Panthers. A rematch here. Some rain's going to be in the forecast. How do you see this one playing out?
I got to have it as the Rams. I just think the talent difference is too much. Carolina, to their credit, they made the playoffs. What a season.
Bravo.
I think that's where you have to say it. They were great to even get here, and it's probably going to be over.
Yeah, that's how I see this one. There's a couple of things that kind of just broke even further to me. Like Quentin Lake comes back for the Rams. He's been huge for them in the secondary. And then I don't think that we're going to get Hunt back for the Panthers offensive line too. So like the Rams right now, they're 5th in pressure rate without a blitz. And the Carolina Panthers offensive line is just totally tattered. So I think it's going to be a struggle on that side of the ball. And then obviously the Rams have been the absolute best offense in the league. So I got the Rams as well. Is there like any like player specific takes you have on either side of the ball? Like looking at pick'em stuff, I think like they have to get Tedrow McMillan involved if they have a prayer on this one because they have not been able to run the ball with all of these offensive line injuries.
Yeah, I still think it points to the Rams. I mean, you get Devontae Adams back. You're hoping for Tyler Higbee back.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams are just getting fully healthy at the right time. And to your point with Quentin Lake, who just signed an extension, their defense with him versus without him has been so much better.
Yeah.
So, I think the story of these playoffs for me is how good these defenses are, whether it's the Patriots or the Chargers, even the Jags, Texans, Rams, Eagles, right? Like these are really, really good defenses, and defense wins championships, they say. Panthers, I just don't think are there yet.
Do you believe that defenses win championships? Like, I know that's the saying. Like, I think it's like more true this year than it typically is.
I think you just historically see a lot of great defenses make good runs, and maybe it's easier to remember these historic defenses. When I think of Super Bowl champions, it's easy to point to the Legion of Boom or the Von Miller Broncos, right?
Yep.
Or my Giants in 2007 and 2011 with these great pass rushes, and the Eagles lately have been so good. I guess there are some exceptions to the rule because those Broncos had a prolific offense, maybe the best we've ever seen. But I think there's something to defenses winning championships, especially in college football. I know we're focusing on pros.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
If you have an all-encompassing, smothering defense that rallies to the ball, especially the way Seattle does, who we'll get to, it's tough for some offenses to get going. And especially when you have an offense like the Panthers that are kind of up and down depending on the week. Yep. I'm going to send prayers their way.
Yeah, the two stats I've been looking at for a lot of the show is just pressure rate without a blitz. Just like could your 4 pass rushers get home, and then just like zone defense. Like the entire league is just zone defense. Like very few times are you actually playing man.
It's like a lot of fewer than 30% a lot of the time.
Yeah, and I think like that's where like the coaching I think comes into play is like communication and zone coverage. Like I think all the best defensive minded head coaches and D coordinators out there are like really just they can communicate. I think that's like the name of the game over there. Okay, so both Rams in a blowout. That's where we agree there. Packers versus Bears. This one's supposed to be really close. Packers on the road, slight favorites by 1.5.
This one's tough because the Packers have won at home and the Bears have won at home. But you could make a really strong argument that the Packers should be undefeated in these games. The Bears have found a way to at least keep it close. And I think that the Packers genuinely are a better team. The Bears have a ton of talent, and especially that offensive line's been very good.
Yep.
And Ben Johnson's been so great at establishing that running game and making things easier for Caleb. He just plays like a young quarterback a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
And it's encouraging to see his growth, but it's still not all the way there yet. But that being said, I have the Bears at home here to pull off kind of a little bit of an upset. I could easily see the Packers taking it. This is one of those true pick'ems in my opinion, but I think the Bears can find a way.
Yeah, I'm on the Bears as well. I'm expecting probably more offense than I kind of was anticipating when I was digging to my notes. Now there's like maybe some wind, maybe some snow coming, so we might have to update this as we get closer, but I just think both of these defenses are just like kind of a train wreck. So for the Bears, they're 27th in pressure rate without the blitz. So you got Jordan Love. They're missing Kyler Gordon in the slot, and all of a sudden you get like Jaden Reed against that. I think the Packers can move the ball. The Bears' run defense has been horrific. Josh Jacobs says this is as healthy as he's been in a very long time. And on the other side of the ball, without Micah Parsons on the field, PFF has the Packers 31st in pass rushing. Like that is just not good enough. And then on top of that, they haven't been able to stop the run because Devontae Wyatt is out. So I go Bears because the offensive line difference. Like the Packers historically always have great offensive lines. Like I'm not sure if you've been watching them and like noticing anything. They just like don't push the pile as much anymore. And that's the complete opposite with the Bears. With Joe Tooney's been awesome. Dahlman's been awesome. Jonah Jackson coming back.
Jonah Jackson's probably been the best guard in the league this year.
Yes,
He's
crazy.
Been incredible.
It's crazy. And then Darnell Wright.
Well, he was good with the Rams, he was good with the Lions, and then he goes to the Rams, and they're moving him around. They're trying him at center. Weird. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
And then of course he gets to the Bears, and he's great. And Joe Tooney has been
so
he is literally, I don't know if you've seen this stat, he is the winningest player in the history of the NFL.
Really?
No
matter where he goes.
Win.
Yeah, that is true.
He was a Patriot when they were good. He was a Chief when they were good. And then now he's on the Bears, who are making a great run.
Yeah.
He was, I think by winning percentage, by certain qualified games, he is of active players, the winningest player in the league.
Yeah, wow, what a signing, or just trading for him. I mean, that's insane stuff.
Guards win championships.
Yeah, there we go. That's better than defenses win championships to me. Guards do. Both of the guards have been excellent. So I'll break the tie and go with Chicago Bears. I think it's a pretty even matchup. I think the offensive line swings it for me. This one, next game here, 49ers at Eagles. Eagles are 4.5-point favorites. I think the big thing that's going to swing it for me, and I'll just say that I'm on the Eagles here, is just the injury news. Just to quickly hit on this, Lane Johnson is back. Jalen Carter came back. And then on the flip side, for the 49ers, Trent Williams, there was just a report that he's actually hurt with his hamstring. Obviously, he didn't play this last week. He was a DNP, and then Ricky Pearsall also not practicing with the knee injury. So I think right when the Eagles get healthy, and then right when the 49ers, like truly, their defense has been a train wreck because of injuries, but now their offense is also dealing with a bunch of injuries. I'm on the Eagles.
You make a ton of great points, and I'm going to counter with that I hate the Eagles, and I will pain me to pick them, and I won't do it.
There you go.
I think Christian McCaffrey is going to do Christian McCaffrey things. He's going to touch the ball 30 times, and the Niners find a way to win in a hostile environment.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the case with the 49ers. Like, very rarely do they absolutely get kind of like brick wall. That did happen in week 18, but I mean, 3 points. Yeah, but maybe Trent Williams can come back here, and I think even without it, you just get the Shanahan. So I think like the big thing would just be the Eagles offense, and maybe as the Eagles hater, you can like just like really start dragging the Eagles offense here. They have just been so bad. I'm kind of like giving up on them even running the ball. Like, to me, it's just like, could the explosive pass come back? So I don't think success rate will ever come back in this offense. It's just like, could you get A.J. Brown on runaway routes? Could you get Devontae Smith play action deep shots? That's kind of like the whole story to me on the Eagles side of the ball. But if you said like Eagles, they don't look good on offense, like that also wouldn't surprise me. Well,
I think that Jalen Hurts is a little bit too inconsistent as a quarterback. So yeah, you are going to find some of the splash plays on occasion because the receivers are so talented. I mean, it is tough to find a 1-2 like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith in the league. There are a couple that come to mind, but that's right up there in that top 3 or 4 without question. And Hurts is a pretty good deep ball thrower. So if you probably move away from Diamador Lenore and target any of the other corners that they've been rotating in, trying to find who's that guy that's going to step up, the Eagles probably will be able to hit a deep shot.
Yeah.
And that can change the game in a tight contested playoff game like this. So, the Eagles have talent, and that can always result in good things. But I think Hurts' inconsistency as a passer and taking what the defense is giving him and not holding on to the ball for 20 minutes. If he just lets his playmakers make plays, they'll be fine. But it's something that doesn't happen consistently enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, last night I'll just say 49ers dead last in pressure rate without the blitz. So like maybe if Jalen Hurts isn't getting flushed out of the pocket as much, because like sometimes when the pressure gets to him, he just like bailing, throwing the ball away, and it's just disgusting football. So we'll see about that. All right, Weaves, we have to split the tie here. Who do you have?
From another Eagles hater? 49ers.
Wow, Niners
nice.
in the upset
Let's
here.
go.
Okay, so we're moving on. That is the NFC. Let's go over to the AFC wildcard real quick. In this one, I just need to be convinced by you, Bengal, here. Chargers at Patriots, point spreads 3.5 for New England at home. Sell me.
I've got the Chargers in this one in an upset.
Wow. Okay.
And there are a lot of things you can point to about why the Chargers will lose. They've got the worst offensive line in football.
They're the Chargers.
They are. They don't win playoff games.
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert apparently is the biggest choker in professional sports. But meanwhile, I think Justin Herbert is basically an MVP candidate. He's been absolutely unbelievable. Everyone around him is either hurt or terrible, and he finds a way to keep the Chargers in games. And to their credit, the Chargers have a very good defense. The big thing for me here is I don't fully buy into the Patriots. I think they're a really well-coached team. I was a huge Drake May fan in the draft, and nothing has changed. He's been better and better and better every week. And, of course, this season, he has a strong argument to be the league's best player. But they really haven't played anybody. And people say that's a lazy narrative because they don't like it. The Patriots have not played anybody. They have beat up on really bad teams or barely beaten bad teams. I think the Patriots of early in the year that, lose to the Raiders and whatever are probably not the same team that they are now. But I still don't know what to expect from them. I don't think they're as good as a typical 2 seed. I don't think they're the typical 14-win team. I think they're more in line with the Vikings that we've seen that won 14 games last year, or when the Steelers had that crazy start to the year. Even the Cardinals had that crazy start. I know the finishes were a bit different, but I don't know that I fully believe in the Patriots. I'm ready to be wrong. I know the Chargers are not that great of a team, but I think Jesse Minter is one of the greatest defensive coordinators we have in the game right now, and he might make life difficult for Drake May, as special as he is.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be really close, too. I share your opinion on the Patriots, that they're a good team. I don't think they're quite as good as, the typical seed that they are right now. I will say, for the Chargers offense, everything just comes down to their offensive line, and that's not going to get fixed. But I will say, the Patriots' pass rush is also not very good. They're 31st in pressure without a blitz. I think the big key here is Milton Williams, who just got paid $100 million. He's going to be back. So, is he going to be able, from the interior, to be able to collapse pockets and make Herbert feel more pressured? But if they don't, the Chargers are awesome when he's, kept clean, because Herbert's amazing. So they're 5th in success rate when he's not under pressure. Can the Patriots get home here? I'm not sure. The other thing I'll mention is I think Quentin Johnson will get locked up with Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis. Those guys got size and speed like Quentin Johnson does. Lad McConkey, remember the wild card round last year where he dropped 197 yards? I'm obviously not expecting that, but I think Lad McConkey's got a good matchup for him. So that was my side on the Chargers. And then for Drake May, it's just a good test, like you said, with Minter. Whenever they're just changing the picture post snap, all that zone coverage stuff that we're talking about, lots of hands on footballs and deflections and whatnot. We'll see if Drake May could handle that. I think that he absolutely should be able to do it. But the Chargers have not been allowing very many fantasy points or anything when we're tracking that to wide receivers. So my key to the game would be Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Hunter Henry, the other positions, not the wide receivers. So I'm conflicted here. I'll go Patriots just because I want to see what producer Weaves has here. So break the tie.
You're getting rolled again. It's the Chargers.
Chargers upset. All right, let's get Herbert on the board. Drake May will win in plenty of playoff games if New England's history lines up there. So, all right, upset.
All right, people. My wife and I just moved into a new home. You know the drill. You get inspections, you get estimates, things to fix, the plumbing, the HVAC, the electrical, the roof, all that type of stuff. If you are going through a similar thing right now, I implore you to add life insurance onto that list. First of all, it's a lot easier to obtain and it's far, far less expensive. And I'll point you in the direction of Ethos, where you can get up to $3 million in coverage, and some policies are as low as $2 a day that are billed monthly. The reason why it's easy is that it is not complicated and it is 100% online. There is no medical exam required, and you can only answer a few questions, and that's all that you need. You get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. When I signed up for life insurance, someone came to my door at 7:30 in the morning, sat in the kitchen around the dining table with them for an hour and a half. That was not with Ethos. So again, protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. It is much, much simpler. Get your free quote at ethos.com/the show. That is ETHOS.com/the show. You never think about life insurance? Hopefully this forces you to do that now.
Next one, Bills, Jaguars. This is another close game. Bills on the road, 1.5 point favorites. This is the highest projected game of the week, over at 52 points here. How do you see this?
This is my game of the week, I would say. I think I'm really excited to watch this compared to, and the matchups all seem pretty good. But this is probably the one I'm most looking forward to. And I've got the Jags. The Bills are a different team on the road. They just are. You know, whether it's going down to Miami and getting annihilated by a very bad Dolphins team, this Bills defense has shown us all year that they are not that good. And when they don't have that home field advantage to elevate them, they're not that good.
Yep.
Liam Cohen's done a great job with the Jags this year. I think Jacoby Myers has absolutely unlocked that offense. And I'm definitely looking for him to get probably 5 or 6 catches for 60 yards this week. That's kind of what he does in that 40 to 60 range. He's been a big part of their success. They don't lose with Jacoby Myers, which is weird, but he complements the entire offense so well, and lets Brian Thomas Jr. kind of working that outside. And I've got the Jags here. Their defense is good. Devin Lloyd's played like an all-pro. We know what Josh Allen can do. I question the receiving room.
Yeah, the receivers just so bad there. I think it's probably the worst wide receiver group in the playoffs here. So, and I think you see that in the numbers too. Bills offense 4th against zone coverage and then 18th against man coverage. 18th, man. That's just like not good enough when you have like a legit MVP candidate. Did want to shout out the Jacksonville secondary. No Travis Hunter, no Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis just broke his foot a couple weeks ago. So I do think it's just kind of like mid versus mid out on the perimeter there. And Bills are trying to get Khalil Shakir more involved. So week 17, he ran around in 42, 45 dropbacks. So maybe Khalil Shakir is the kind of guy I'm circling on that side of the ball, because Jacksonville's run defense has been pretty good. And then you got like Dalton Kincaid versus Devin Lloyd, like you mentioned. So I like Khalil Shakir matchup wise for the Bills. I'm also on Jacksonville though. The Bills defense is just not good enough, man. Like Ed Oliver was like supposed to come back, and then like he like tears his meniscus apart, so now he's out long term. Terrell Bernard did not practice, the linebacker. Maxwell Hairston, the rookie corner, he's trending towards out. You know, like Hoyer's coming back, but like you never know, an older player coming off of injury. So it's the other guys, Brenton Strange, Travis Etienne, Tootin, you named Jacoby Myers. Like that's where the Bills defense has been so bad, is just defending passes over the middle and stopping the run. And that's what Jacksonville's good at. So I was like pretty surprised. Were you surprised that Jacksonville was the dog in this one? I think that was kind of wrong.
I didn't see where it changed from the open, so I don't know. You said it was what, -1.5 or -1.5 right now?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that surprising because it's people betting it. It's Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
And you look at the playoffs and you see a lot of familiar faces that are not involved. No Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yep.
Is obviously the big one. No Joe Burrow. It's like the juggernauts of AFC that have stopped Josh Allen before or given them a problem. They're not involved in this game, or in this playoff. So, you know, I think it's really tough to pick against the MVP from a year ago, and obviously in the conversation again this year, top 5 finish maybe. But I think the Jags are the more complete team this year.
Yeah, it's been like that for quite a while here. So yeah, Josh Allen goes superhero mode. Like obviously you can see this. A lot of people are also saying like this is the AFC matchup that they think could like lead to a Super Bowl appearance, like the winner of this one. So we'll see about that. I think that it's pretty even, Steven. I don't think the Bills or Jacksonville is like light years ahead of any other team in the AFC. I think all these teams are pretty flat in general, but agree. Game of the weekend is that one.
I don't like a Bills Broncos matchup. If that's where it ends up going, I don't like the Bills in that at all, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. I kind of like the Broncos. We'll get to them in a second. All right. The worst game, of the weekend. It's always the Texans in the worst game of the weekend. Not their fault. Always the Steelers, also the worst wild card. They find each other here. Lowest projected game of the week at 39 points. DK Metcalf is back, but he goes up against the Texans secondary. How do you see this one unfolding?
I've got the Texans. I'll make it short and sweet. Yeah. The defense is too much. I don't believe in the Steelers. Yes, they're getting DK Metcalf back from suspension. I still don't particularly care because I've seen what the Steelers can do this year, and it isn't much. I don't think they're going to score very much in this game.
No.
And it's tough to win when you don't score.
That's the name of the game,
Expert
man.
analysis.
I agree. I mean, there's times where Aaron Rodgers like, I'm not getting hit this game. And I think when you got Danielle Hunter,
Cleveland, they didn't even try.
Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing. And like, where is he going to run when you got pass rushers coming from every direction? So I see it the same. And they're like try to run the ball against the Texans defensive line. They got like a decent kind of underrated offensive line in Pittsburgh, but like DK Metcalf gets erased by Stingley and Lassiter and these guys, and then like you throw the ball to Kenny Gainwell, like which I kind of like Kenny Gainwell, like pick him, but like Kenny Gainwell is like not like going to create an upset here. So Texans don't have to do a whole lot. And then quickly on the offensive side of the ball for Houston, Steelers were fifth worst in wide receiver yards per game allowed. So Nico Collins over the top beat them. There's been so many coverage busts. Like Jalen Ramsey, I thought was playing well, and then this last game was just like kept looking around. I don't know what to make of them. Yeah, so. I think that one was probably the easiest one for me, aside from the Rams. But we both like the Texans. All right, let's bring us to the divisional round. We'll kind of go rapid fire here. Broncos versus Chargers. This one would be in Denver, altitude, you name it. In division would be the third time they would face each other. Who should we pick?
I actually think the Chargers have a decent chance here, but in the end, I think the Broncos just are going to be too much. It's the defensive line against the offensive line. And it is a pretty huge mismatch. I mean, you have some underrated pass rushers in Denver. Nick Bonito's got a little bit more attention, but no one's talking about Cooper on the other side, who's been a really good player all year, and really for a couple of years now. Trey Pipkins trying to block either of those guys. It's a disaster. I really can't pick the Chargers here. I really can't.
No, yeah, they're just like, Justin Herbert can go crazy and Bo Nix can throw the ball to the other team, but I'm with you there. Broncos, just the trenches is just completely different over there. So on to the next one, same division, Jacksonville, Houston. Where should we go?
I've got the Texans in this one. I'm taking the better defense against the better offense, and I believe in CJ Stroud. I think he is a really, really good player. I see Texans fans in my mentions and on my timeline all the time talking about how he's not that guy, but I think he's that guy. When you watch the film, he is the reason this offense works. And I think I lean on that defense as well. And the Jags are fun. I think they've made a great run up to this point. First year head coach, but I've got what I think is the best defense in the playoffs. Moving on. Yeah,
I'll go with Houston as well with you. I think that they kind of match up in ways that I kind of like for Houston, where Jacksonville's offensive line, I think that's their like primary weakness, and they've like coached around it, but like it's hard to coach around when you just got four dudes rushing the passer like you do in Houston. And then also, like we said, Nico Collins and Stroud versus backups in the secondary for Jacksonville. I think that you can kind of win over the top. So like when the Stroud deep ball's humming, very difficult team to beat. So they're not gonna be able to run the ball. That's the one thing about Houston is like they are just not capable of running the football. So it's really just like Stroud, Higgins, and Nico Collins, and then everything else is kind of secondary. So let's go with the upset there. NFC side for divisional round, Seahawks versus 49ers. I swear these teams play every single week. How should we break this one?
I love these matchups, though. It reminds me of like, this is the vintage, like, well, I guess not vintage, but I think 10 or so years ago, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Aldon Smith Niners against the Legion of Boom type. Like, this is a great matchup. And it's a similar story today. These are two really good teams. The Niners offense when healthy is great. Obviously, they're a little bit banged up. Seahawks, I think, have the best defense in the NFC and really strong argument for best defense in the playoffs. I just don't think this is a great matchup for San Francisco with all their injuries.
Yep, I would pick the Seahawks in this one. I think they are the best defense. They just have like the best, I think, depth. And Mike McDonald was my coach of the year. They can stop the run on top of it. They could throw a lot of wrinkles out there. So it's just one of those teams that are so smart. And then hopefully Seattle's offensive line can like push piles against the 49ers backups. And I think that they would be able to. It's like when the Seahawks can get like a couple explosives in the ground game, which they have recently, very difficult team to beat. And it's a lot easier to do that against backups. So we'll take the Seahawks there. Bears, Rams, this would be another great one here. How do you see it?
I've got the Rams. I think, again, best offense in the sport. Their defense is great. I think the Bears may be a year away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing if you're a Bears fan to even be in the spot, but the Rams have the best offense in the NFL, and I'll take my chances there. All right, AFC NFC conference. Let's go with the big one. Seahawks, Rams here. Another one that maybe this one will go into double overtime, triple overtime, you name it. How do you see it?
Yeah, we've seen this one a lot, and the Rams were in prime position to beat Seattle, and they just couldn't do it. When their defense is playing the way we've seen them play recently, they're a really, really tough team to beat. And I think, to your point, the offense will find ways to get explosive on the ground. Like Kenneth Walker, when he's actually getting the ball, makes things happen.
Yep.
And I think maybe Seattle likes the down-to-down consistency of Charbonnet a little bit more. But I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Again, I think they're on a run right now. Sometimes it's not necessarily about who's better or worse, but it's who's finding a way lately. And we've seen this matchup, and the Rams couldn't close out the game. Seattle found a way to. I think they do again.
Yeah, I just think you can see Chris Shula like fooling Sam Darnold. Like there's a couple they drop a defensive lineman, get him for a pick.
Turner with the pick.
Yeah, that really nasty. Looked like it's going to be man coverage, and all of a sudden it's zone coverage at the snap. They get Sam Darnold there as well. Could you do that in the third time around? I'm not sure. I would be guessing that the Seattle Seahawks are a little bit more buttoned up against there. So I'm rolling with the Seattle Seahawks. AFC side, there's two defenses just dragging offenses across to the conference championship here. Broncos versus Texans. Who do you like?
I'm on the Texans here. I think, again, their defense is great. I've been saying it the entire video here. And I like Denver, but similarly to the Patriots, I don't know how good this team actually is. And Bo Nix has had some moments this year. But again, his down-to-down consistency is not so great. And I think the Texans are going to find a way to make it very, very difficult on him. And, if you have this Broncos defense and you pick on Riley Moss, it's a defensive pass interference or two every game. You might be able to find a way to move the ball on them enough to win. Two really good defenses going at it. I'm just not exactly sure how good the Broncos actually are. I know they're the 1 seed. They had a great year. They went down, 18 and then 19 to the Giants.
Yeah, that's.
I know they came back. I know they did, but to even be in that position tells me that things can get out of hand.
Yeah, and
I don't know that you're coming back to score 30 points in the fourth quarter on the Texans if that's what it takes. Obviously, that's a rare scenario, but
yeah.
I think it could be tough.
Yeah, I'll just say, let's say these teams are about a wash on defense. Then it's like, okay, I know Stroud's better than Bo Nix. Is that difference as big as the difference between the offensive lines? Like the Broncos offensive line kicks ass. The Texans offensive line is not there. So I would go with the Broncos here. It's a great year to be a fraud 1 seed. Like if you're going to be a fraud 1 seed, this is the year to be a fraud 1 seed. I think that the Broncos can kind of make it. So Producer Weaves, you're going to have to break the tie to get to the Super Bowl.
Frauds lose. We're taking the Texans.
Texans.
Nice.
Wow, I can't buy a win around here, Producer Weaves. What the hell is going on? All right, defense versus defense. We said at the top, defenses wins championships. Seahawks, Texans, how do you see it?
Give me the Texans in what will certainly be an upset pick. I'm riding the defense. This would be the two best defenses in the playoffs, in my opinion, going at it. This would be such a fun Super Bowl. And I'm riding the Texans. I'm in Houston. I'm picking the hometown team.
Okay. Is there anybody that's like stands like who's like the underrated piece that makes this go? Is like Lassiter is like really that guy? Is it Petrie? Is it somebody else? Is it Al-Shaair? Like who is it? Like you're very clearly very pro Texans. I'm just curious who's like stirring the pot.
I think he had a good point going with some of those players in the secondary. I do like Azeez Al-Shaair. He just lays wood. I mean, he comes with the helmet. Hat to the ball every single time. But I think it is the combination of Lassiter, Petrie, Kalen Bullock, single high, and he gives them so much flexibility. And of course, obviously, Derek Stingley. They are a really, really good secondary. And then, I mean, the pass rush is great. I mean, we all know about Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., but what about those guys on the interior? I mean, Danico Autry's like, 50 years old? And he's
always
still
does it.
Producing?
Always.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I like the Texans for sure.
Yeah. Their defense steps up. Just really like, to me, it's like Nico Collins, CJ Stroud down the field. Like if they can connect on one of those, like that's usually the difference. So in this one, I'm going Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. We got to get Producer Weaves back in here.
This might be the one where he agrees with you. This could be the one.
I gotta go Seahawks.
Yes. Okay. And that brings me to the next question. Let's say the Seahawks do win this thing. Who's the MVP? Like, are we going to say on this podcast right now, Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVP? That's the prediction. We have to come up with some MVP here. Let's assume the Seahawks are it. It would be JSN. Are you going to pick one of these pass rushers? Are you going to pick a linebacker? Who would be the MVP if the Seahawks can pull this one off?
You know who's been absolutely ridiculous lately is DeMarcus Lawrence. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
My MVP pick, though, will be Ty Okada in the secondary. He's been a baller. This is not a joke. He's been great. He's all over the field. And you never know what happens in these games. All it takes is a pick six for him to be in that conversation or something. And there, he's your Super Bowl MVP. We've seen weird Super Bowl MVPs for Seattle in the past. Malcolm Smith.
True.
Give me Ty Okada.
Wow. I mean, I really hope we can clip this one out. I mean, you wouldn't even get this answer if this was in the Super Bowl previews. We're getting this for a month out. I'll just say Sam Darnold for Super Bowl MVP because it just sounds so ridiculous. But I do think it is possible. Drag him, throw him over the top to a couple of these guys. Maybe like Rashid Shaheed comes out of nowhere, kick return, catches a big pass, something like that. That would be pretty fun after trading a third round pick. So that's what we got. We got a bunch of defenses kind of pulling this one together. It's just a weird year of football, man. Like not that many elite offenses out there, and we're rolling with it. Players you've never heard of and Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVPs. I do got to ask you one thing though, real quick, selfishly though. In 2026, how are we winning in Madden? Is there specific plays? Is it an offense? When I was growing up doing Madden, it was just Mike Vick scramble drill. What's like the keys to success in Madden now?
I'll tell you, Hayden, I don't actually play the game online versus anybody. I play armchair GM.
Okay.
Put the eyebrows down.
Okay.
I rebuild teams. I draft virtual players.
Wow.
And I make trades and signings, and that's my content. I'm not good at the game. My comment section will tell you that very quickly. I do not try to be. I do not care to be. I play couch quarterback and armchair GM, and that's about it. I play the computer. I don't know what's effective. I don't want to know because Madden is not really football. It's what cheese play can be effective here.
That's what I was curious about.
I do not care about that. That doesn't do it for me. I like to see the storylines of like player growth.
Interesting.
That's what gets me going.
Okay, do you believe in Madden ratings? Is like a good way to kind of assess like are Madden ratings pretty accurate or not?
You know, I have a little bit of an issue from time to time with players, but for the most part, I think they're pretty good. You know, there might be an 88 overall player that you're like, this guy's got to be a 91. It's like, well, dude,
who cares?
Plus,
go outside.
+3, plus or minus. I think we've got a pretty good idea about like who they are. The only thing I don't always like is sometimes how these players are ranked according to overall, but then you got to dive into the overall formula, which is different for every position, and it plays to different archetypes. And it's like, what do you value? Like a really good route runner with really good route running might be a higher overall than someone that has insanely high catching but isn't as polished.
Interesting.
But like, you got to find a way to make DK Metcalf as good as, you know, Jordan Addison. Even though I think you look on paper, Addison probably has similar hands with way better route running.
Right.
It's just DK run fast by you, and that's it.
Yeah. And that was like forever, like how you win in Madden. Just who's the fastest and throw it over the top, and just that's how you'd win it. But now that you had that answer, I do need to follow up. How deep are you into the NFL prospects? Like I'm assuming you just like go deep dive with all the prospects if you're doing, you know, GMing for Madden.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's not really. I don't really do any of that stuff for Madden. More so just with like the prospect evaluation for either those videos or mock drafts or rankings in general. Oh. I've watched maybe 2 or 3 games on 50 guys at this point, but in the next few months, I'm going to try to get to 4 to 7 or 8 per player, and I usually try to get to 150 different evals.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I always do the top 100 there, so I'm about to get into the lab. I haven't watched anybody. I'm going to watch the quarterbacks first. We got big.
Do you only watch offense?
No, I'm doing the top 100. We do videos mostly on just the like dynasty type of guys, but I watch in defensive tackles and safeties all the way through, try to get a top 100 out there.
Do you like anyone in particular so far?
I haven't watched anybody. I was just going to ask you about Ty Simpson because he kind of just declared versus Mendoza and more, just like the top 3 quarterbacks, unless you have another name for me at quarterback.
No, I think there's really a top 2. I don't think Ty Simpson's a first-round caliber player, and I think when you factor in already that he's not the biggest or strongest guy and he's not the best athlete or improviser, when Ty Simpson was super effective this year, it was because everything was in structure and on time. You know, he's at the well, from the gun, there basically is no drop half the time, but he's on his back foot and then the ball's out, right? And when he didn't get to do that, he looked very bad. And his ball placement got worse over the year. And it's tough to say, hey, here's a somewhat undersized, not super athletic, not super strong arm with placement concerns. It's tough for me
You're
to
not
rank
selling
that
me.
guy especially high. No, he is good, and I think he
Right.
could be an effective game manager, at least in college. I don't know that he is ready to be an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
I like Mendoza quite a bit. I think Moore is in that conversation. Depending on what you like, I think you could have Mendoza or Moore ranked as 1 or 2. They might be 1A and 1B. I think Dante Moore, you have the benefit of him playing in a more pro-styled structure at Oregon, where Indiana's so much RPO, quick game, and you don't see that as much. It's tough. Do you know what the guy can do from under center? But then my counter to that is we've seen Fernando Mendoza interviews, and this was a guy who was recruited by Yale football, who settled for Cal because he wanted to play against better competition, Cal Berkeley, and then goes to Indiana. He's clearly a motivated leader. I don't know. He's an awesome guy.
Yep. Yeah, I've liked the tape I have seen from Mendoza. Just
He's
quickly,
tough as nails too. That's a trend of these quarterbacks in the playoffs. Tough.
Ty Simpson, Mac Jones as prospects. I kind of liked Mac Jones, and I'm not sure how to grade my evaluation there because I thought he was going to be a starter, and I think that he can be now, but it got so sideways there. But Mac Jones did not miss any passes. His accuracy in college was so good. Would you take Mac Jones prospect over Ty Simpson?
See, I wasn't a huge Mac Jones guy. I felt like he left ball short a lot because I was really big on Jalen Waddle in that class, and I felt like consistently, if Mac Jones could have placed the ball a bit better, Jalen Waddle probably would have had 300 or 400 more yards that season. So I was really not a huge fan of the athleticism and arm talent in general. But again, I think like Ty Simpson, the guy I think can manage an offense. I think he's not going to put the ball in harm's way too much, and that's valuable. We've seen success with that in some of these playoff teams, even quarterbacks. So
interesting. Okay, well, that's the preview to the quarterbacks. After probably this weekend, I'm going to start firing out film takes. So cannot wait. I don't watch much college football, so when I get in the lab, I don't know the narratives and stuff. It just this is what the film is talking to me. I think it's a little bit unbiased. I think it's kind of actually an advantage.
Well, are you going to watch the college football playoff tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching some college football playoff for sure, and then I'll get back into the lab. We needed Simpson to come out just for content purposes, and then hopefully the Oregon quarterback does the same. But we'll find out soon.
I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Okay, good.
Shocked.
Good. Okay, tell us where we can find you. What's coming up on the channel?
YouTube.com/Bengal. Mock drafts every Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, depending on how things play out. And then if you're interested in Madden franchise style rebuilds, those are on the channel as well. Search Bengal or Bengal YouTube on all platforms. You'll find me.
Hell yeah. Cool. All right. I'll be back on this channel probably tomorrow. We'll see how it goes, but I'll be back eventually. All right. Later, guys. Peace.